Hi, Bill Henshaw here again. Some more interesting local late news that you probably are familiar with too, with good old Donald Trump and the squad. And what I'm going to say about that is to Donald, I'm going to call you out because you're 100% right about this, but it would be real nice if you told the American people why you are. There's all this crap about just solely birthright citizenship out the window. The reason being that the 14th Amendment doesn't exist. The ratification of that amendment, quote unquote, violated all 6 articles of the Constitution. And it's dead bang black and white. And any of you that get my materials, you can request information at unincourt@gmail.com. I have a lot to say about this amendment. So that said, if you would tell the American people that's why, that would be doing us all a favor and finally getting things out there like they really should be. We have state citizens here, not birthright jus soli citizens. We have state citizens jus sanguinis, by blood, not by soil. And those are the kinds of issues that you should be really open and getting out there to the American public, even if the people supporting your campaign, the main people paying your bills, don't want you to do it. I think you have a duty as president, with the faithful execution of the laws, if nothing else, to do that. Now, that said, I'm well aware that 3 of these people are actually born here and claim just solely citizenship, but none of it matters. If that amendment doesn't exist, where's the citizenship? It doesn't exist, but that's the only citizenship these bastards recognize. 8 U.S.C. 1324, I believe, is the statute on it. That's all. They don't recognize our citizenship. And by the way, as I said in my earlier video today, you go back to the first Civil Rights Act from 1866, and you read what it says in there about, giving all these new rights and things to the freedmen at the time, the ones that were the slaves prior to the war between the states. And it says they have the same rights as enjoyed by white citizens. Now, if white citizens aren't recognized anymore, exactly what rights is it that you people of color think you have? There isn't any. And to put it in perspective here and use a phrase a lot of you might be familiar with, I'm going to paraphrase it here, but I would say that just solely state citizens have no rights which the de facto National Socialist government is bound to respect. And there isn't any. I mean, you find out, for example, that the 904, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that the government can tax a taxpayer out of existence without any apparent need for an administrative hearing, let alone a jury trial before a jury of our peers. They can do that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But they do it, and they say for the writ of habeas corpus, by the way, they have said cases Coleman v. Thompson, 501 U.S. 722. Actual innocence is not grounds for the issuance of the writ. What the hell is this? Well, you get my materials and you learn what it is, because Thompson, unfortunately, the attorney made the mistake of using the statutory writ of habeas corpus, 28 U.S.C. 2241. You can't use that writ. That's statutory. That only goes back to the revised statutes of 1874, which in turn relied on the Habeas Corpus Act of 1867, and which ultimately relied on the non-existent 14th War Amendment. What you have to do is invoke the original jurisdiction of the court under Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2. That's the writ we want. And yet you rarely see it this day and age. And I can tell you personally, I've got a big old book here called Supreme Court Practice. 1,100 pages, maybe more. How many pages on the original jurisdiction? 2. What the hell is going on here? By the way, I did see a funny cartoon about all this, about Trump and the squad. And I saw this, I got a big laugh out of this particular cartoon. So you can see where he's claiming they can deport the Statue of Liberty, which I personally wouldn't have any problem with. But nevertheless, he's just solely, like everybody else. So this is what the hell is going on here. But it's so important to understand, because once you understand the situation and the relationship we have to government, which they think right now is at best master and guardian and ward, if not master and servant. What it really is principal to agent. We created the whole damn thing. We own them. And they're telling us what to do? Whoa, that's the kind of question we need to start asking in trial courts and in front of juries. And I think most of my proverbial fourth graders are going to understand this line of thinking, let alone 12 jurors sitting there. They can't do any of this. And especially since there's nothing remotely resembling a Republican form of government. That's coming in the next video. But they have nothing. There's no authority to do anything. I mean, it might as well be an anarchy, which it really is in some ways. We're not that far from it. We're certainly nowhere close to that federated Republican form of government. We're much closer to democracy, which, as I've said on other videos, 3 wolves, 2 sheep, voting on what's for dinner. You figure it out. In any case, I'll have a follow-up on this as things go forward here, with the squad and Trump, and we'll see what happens. But it's an interesting situation that I have been paying attention to. Thank you.